I definitely think they went to space. I definitely believe in that. I don't think that they landed on the moon.
The people who believe that they landed on the moon are the same people who believe that Tupac is alive. That thing did not happen.
She's not on your side, Frankie.
No, Mo's on your side. Mo, good morning.
No.
Anele and the club
on 947.
So we're driving from Pretoria. Tembekile, you went there. I think you were on your political escapades.
Oh, yes, I might have been.
We're driving from Pretoria. It's myself, Cindy, and Frankie in a car, right? And then Frankie's like, yeah, and do you know what's funny? She doesn't believe she doesn't believe in the moon landing.
Yeah, just caught me off guard. She doesn't believe in the moon landing. And because I'm expecting you guys to go, how wild.
Yeah.
Everyone does.
At which point Cindy and I say,
I turn around in the seat to look at you guys because it goes quiet. It goes quiet in that moment. And I turn around and look at you guys, and both of you look at me and you go, well, we don't believe in the moon landing either. How?
Dude, Frankie almost...
He was like, there's no way.
He almost said, stop this car right now. I want to get off. After years of working with Cindy and Anele, 8 years later, I find out that they don't believe in the moon landing. I don't believe that the Americans landed on the moon on that fateful day in 20th of July, 1969. I don't believe it.
You don't believe there was a giant leap for mankind?
No, I don't.
I don't believe that a cameraman was standing there just filming that moment in which he came off.
It's not a new theory, though, Frankie, to be fair, because to what Cindy's saying, people had said at the time that, look, if we're saying these are the first guys to land there, technically the cameraman was the first because he was there to capture the arrival.
But this is a piece of history that happened.
That is not necessarily true. 12 Apollo didn't happen.
But now, and this is where it gets wild for me, because I'm like, in that moment, I realized that obviously not all of us believe the same
thing. Yeah. Is this like the Earth is flat thing?
Yeah. Well, yeah. You don't believe the Earth is flat,
no,
right?
No, the Earth is round.
just checking how far this goes.
Because they did travel to space, though.
So geode shape. That much I get. I just don't think that they landed on the moon. In fact, I just want to ask, why aren't we there every day at the moon?
Well, there's nothing there.
Apparently, it's too risky.
Well, they're going back now.
To do what? To land on the moon for the first time?
It's just a big rock.
Exactly.
I get why America faked it. Okay, I get it because
she says with like authority,
conviction, eh?
Okay, allegedly faked it. I believe my theory. It was the space race. It was the Cold War. The USSR also had was pumping lots of money to obviously be the first ones to get to the moon.
It's like a show of strength,
yes,
basically.
Exactly. And the Cold War was exactly that. It was like that ideological war, like who is smarter than the other one. So I get that they were like, you know what? Let's just say we did this thing. I don't think it happened.
So how do you explain all the stuff leading up to it? Do you think that Neil Armstrong...
The $30 billion that they put towards...
Yeah, and did Neil Armstrong get in a little thing and go there or not? You don't believe he ever left the planet? He was hiding.
I think the rocket took off, but I don't think it went to the moon. And then I think they came back and they went to a nice little Hollywood studio in Burbank, Los Angeles, and they shot all of that, and then they released those pictures.
So I can understand how you believe that, because obviously there's a lot of stuff on the internet. This is a big debate on the internet. I just thought, because this is what caught me off guard, right? I'm still flabbergasted. This is months ago. I'm still flabbergasted. What caught me off guard is that I can see how on YouTube there's a lot of conspiracy theories around landing on the moon, etc., etc. And I can see how during lockdown you guys got involved there. I don't know when this happened. Right?
I thought this long before. Long before.
Frankie's so concerned.
That's the moment that I was like, but hang on a second now.
Who else believes this?
I've always considered this to be a pretty strong fact, and that people who believe the conspiracy of it didn't land on the moon to be a very minute part of humanity.
No, it's a lot of us.
But now it seems like you walk amongst us. Your friends and family don't believe in the moon landing. And you've never... Because you don't ask people this stuff. Like, it doesn't come up in conversation.
But on that one day you did, and then you found out.
Are we adding this to first date questions? Do you believe in the moon landing?
You've got to.
Because Frankie doesn't believe that,
I don't believe that you don't believe. I can't believe that you don't believe.
And it's so funny, the fact that you don't have to call it with Neil Armstrong and Buzz what. You just call it the moon landing, and everyone knows what you're talking about.
And the thing is, You don't have to justify why you do or don't.
Just tell, yeah.
I don't. We're
Yeah.
not getting to why you believe it didn't happen or why you believe it happened. Just do you believe that this thing happened? This moment in history. Do you believe that a moment in history happened?
Didn't happen.
Wild. Tebekile?
I believe in ghosts. I'm the wrong person to ask.
I definitely think they went to space. I definitely believe in that. I don't think that they landed on the moon.
We've been friends for so long.
Only 4 countries have since said Nabo they've landed on the moon. China, India, Russia, and America.
And do you believe that they did? Questions.
It's questionable. Because I'm just asking, then why haven't you gone back?
But there's nothing there, is there?
I mean,
It's just a
REM
rock.
did an entire song called Man on the Moon. They're
If
like,
you
if you
believe-
believe they put a
They
man on
put
the
a
moon.
man on the moon.
I can't believe this is what we've come to. I did not think this would divide us.
Right?
Also, Frankie, when they take off, right, they've got this huge thing on Earth, right, forcing them up. And maybe it's because I don't understand science. But then when they leave the moon, they just leave the moon.
Yes, because there's no gravity.
But the flag was flying.
The flag was because there's.
So wait,
Explain it slowly,
can I
Frankie.
just understand? So, because
So have you
Can I
guys
just ask you-
watched an actual documentary and not
Not TikTok.
No
not
TikTok.
TikTok? Like
It's-
have you
it's all
watched
from TikTok.
You know what I'm saying? Have you watched like how it actually happened and how it worked?
okay, so Cindy's question. So when it's on the moon, right, and then it's landed there properly,
yes.
right? Then when it gets off, does it also start go and then it goes up, or does it just like float?
Because there's no gravity. So what's holding the rocket then to the moon
No,
when they land?
there is gravity, but it's very little gravity.
So then
Cindy.
how does the rocket stay?
So did you see when they're walking on the moon, they bounce because you can't really walk because
Yeah.
you're so light.
So why is the rocket not bouncing?
Because it's
heavy.
stationary.
Can I just say, as someone who couldn't be bothered, I'm so entertained by this.
Why is the rocket not bouncing? Is that what you asked?
Yeah, why didn't they have to
No,
tie
'cause
it down?
you can't stand still on the moon because there is enough gravity to hold you to the moon. Why am I explaining this to you?
Wait, Serena and Sharapova. Any other questions?
No, Mo is on your side. Mo, good morning.
Morning, guys.
You on Frankie's side, right?
No. Not at all.
Mo.
Guys, listen. No.
What
Frankie,
say you,
come
Mo?
on. They use checks, actual checks, as a form of payment from work. No bank transfer. Frankie's Batala.
You know that in America you can't buy airtime at an ATM. It's just something that's unheard of. You have to literally go buy a scratch card and scratch and
Yeah.
then load it into your phone. Those
Are you guys are
the guys that
citing-
landed on the moon.
No, come on.
Those are the guys
And
that landed on the
that's
moon.
what Mo's saying. They don't have online banking. I can't just pay Anele online. I have to write her a check. And those people went to the moon.
Yes.
They can't send money on the internet.
They what are you kidding me?
Dumi, good morning. No, Dumi says they landed on the moon.
To me, please, just bring some sense to this conversation because I didn't
Help
believe that I was the
Frankie.
minority. I can't believe that people believing in the moon landing is the minority in the conversation.
No, listen. The people who believe that they landed on the moon are the same people who believe that Tupac is alive. That thing did not happen.
She's not on your side, Frankie.
That
No.
did not happen. There's no way.
There we go.
So you also don't believe in the moon landing, to me?
No, it didn't happen, guys. How can they have technology back then that was only allegedly replicated now?
What do you mean?
There's no way. It's impossible. Guys. America has thrived from being perceived as the classroom bullies. There's no way.
Guys, they had giant warships for the Second World War. We agree, right? It happened. I'm just checking where our disagreements. Don't bring to me back here. I want to hear if she agrees. To me, you agree the Second World War happened, right?
I mean, we know because people died. That we can see. Their graves are there.
And it happened here
But
on
they were
Earth.
flying. They were flying. There was planes. There were ships. So they already had, and that's 20 years before the moon
Frankie,
landing.
Frankie, we can believe planes because we have them. We can see it. But to say
Meanwhile,
in
back on planet
1969,
Earth, the rest of us don't
a
believe that.
rocket left.
I don't even think we had sliced bread in 1969.
We did. Is there no one who believes in the moon landing? Is it just me in this whole entire city? There can't be. Am I surrounded by buffoons?
Let's speak to Robert. Robert says he's done the research. Robert says he's on Frankie's side and he has done the research. Good morning, Robert. Welcome to Anele and the club.
Good morning, guys.
So we landed on the moon, eh? That's what you say.
Yeah, 100%. I've done the hours of research. There were like 400,000 people involved, including NASA staff and private contractors. It's impossible for everyone to be lying.
So
That's what convinced me.
So you say that if they didn't land on the moon, we would have heard the truth. Someone would have told the truth.
But exactly,
100%.
this is why we're here. This is why we're here. It's because I believe that in the people who were part of the entire movie, some of them have said, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. And also, guys, numbers are not a reflection of the truth. Let's just also state that. I mean, look at the political parties that have millions of people voting for them, and yet you don't even remotely believe in the ideologies of those political parties, but they have 9 million people who vote for them.
Yeah, look, I mean, this is, like I say, I don't think this is a topic we're going to convince each other differently on. There's those who believe and those who don't believe.
But look, Robert's research says 400,000 people.
Well, Robert has obviously gone into the facts.
So have we.
Have you?
Yes.
What did you look at?
We have. No, guys, everything that they say.
Yeah, no, but I've seen this.
That they say as facts of them landing on the moon can be questioned.
It can be questioned.
That is my cry. It's like, can you give me one thing that can't be questioned? No, they can't.
But you can always question everything.
Reasonable doubt. Sorry. I'm going to stay on this side. They didn't land on the moon. Neil?
Firstly, I want to stipulate the song was correct for Tembakila and Anele. How low can you go? Not believing in it. Okay?
Low.
That's low.
Okay.
Couple of points. Firstly, my name is Neil, and I was named after Neil Armstrong. I was born in 1970, after the moon landing.
So Neil, Neil deGrasse Tyson, you know who that is.
I do know. Is that he's a very smart guy who speaks like this.
Very smart physicist, man. He wouldn't lie to us.
Absolutely. But I mean, we've got to believe these people who go onto YouTube, because obviously YouTube is 100% correct.
Yeah, that and TikTok.
And Wikipedia.
And TikTok.
Yeah. And TikTok. Let's not forget that.
But Neil, you've got to agree with Anele on this point. You can see how we get to the point we don't believe.
I can see how we get to the point that we don't believe, but it's the same way as having different ideologies.
You see your high-powered telescope, I would only believe it if, as it was landing, we were watching from Earth on that high-powered telescope. But you can't tell me that decades later, you guys took a telescope and you looked at the moon and you can see exactly where they landed.
Neil,
no, guys, because they could have done that at any other time.
I think the only way we would convince Anele to change her position
is to take me to the moon.
Is if we took her back to 1960
9
9
20th of July
and put her in the capsule with Neil Armstrong and she landed on the moon.
And all we would hear from Anele is the whole time on that.
I'd be screaming the whole way. I'd be like, oh my word, I need a wee. Where's the petrol station? Where's the petrol station?
Sure, no, I don't believe in moon landing. I do not. There is no such.
Guys, I've never questioned this, and you're making me question it.
Anele and the club
on 947.